All right. Well, we're turning now to Michael Randolph. Hi, Michael. Good to have you. Good to have you. I want to make sure I can hear you. Can you speak up?
Hello, my apologies. I just called in from my cell phone, so
Oh, good.
my apologies for the inconvenience there. I hope that everyone is doing well today.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And this is like a drill for what happens all over the country anyway, right?
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. So
yeah,
something that we tell our teachers is that flexibility is the key to success. So in spite of our circumstances, the expectation is that we strive to be great. So although there was a little hiccup there, we want to try to overcome that hiccup.
yeah, yeah. And I'm seeing both you on video, I'm hearing you, and I see your screen. So I'm going to mute and then come in at the end for any questions. But this is fabulous to have you. So grateful that you're with us. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all for allowing me to speak to you today, and thank you for taking time out of your day to learn and grow together. There's a quote that Leilana said earlier that really resonated with me and is a great transition into what I'll be speaking about today. We have everything that we need to be successful. We just have to find an infrastructure that works for us. So that is something that we're going to talk about while discussing how to launch a virtual open house. The purpose of today's professional development is how to organize and execute a virtual open house. Why this is important is as we continue to transition to digital platforms, let's see this. Okay, as we continue to transition to digital platforms, it is essential that we remain committed to providing our parents, students, and community with the same level of support and communication in spite of our circumstances. And how are we going to be able to execute this? We are very fortunate in Lake County to use Google Apps for Education. So all participants will leave with the ability to organize a virtual open house. So I wanted to just take a moment and just ask everyone to drop in the room, to share what school you're representing and what county you're representing. And on a scale from 1 to 5, because I know that we have a lot of leaders in the room, either specialists, administrators, or lead teachers. How are you doing so far, and how is this year going? From 5 being we got this to 1 being we're looking for an extended winter break.
Okay, I'm watching chat to see what the attendees do. They might also hit questions to say how they're doing.
Okay.
But everyone that's on the line right now, and there's people from all over, I'm watching what they're doing. And
fantastic.
Andrea from Polk County Public Schools says a 4.
Good.
Watching for anybody else who wants to chime in. There's people from all over the country in here.
Well, I am glad no matter what level you are, just know that you are not alone. Understand that we are here together. And again, I am just excited for this opportunity to learn and grow with everyone that's in the room today. So I thought it was important.
Go ahead.
So I thought it was important to tell a little bit about my story before we began. I'm the proud husband to Megan Randolph, who serves as a K through 5 curriculum manager for Lake County, and I am proud to be a girl dad as well to Riley and Peyton as well. Part of my why for getting into education is to provide opportunity and access for all students, regardless of their socioeconomic, race, or gender. In 2018, Leesburg High School officially became a Cambridge Advanced International Certificate of Education school, and our inaugural candidates from the class of 2022 completed their first round of assessments last year and finished with an 81% pass rate on 3 different exams and earned over 320 college credits amongst 47 students. So for us, that's important because at Leesburg High School, we are a Title I school with over 70% of our students qualifying for either free or reduced lunch. We proudly serve 7 career and technical education programs ranging from our construction academy to culinary to digital design. And we are very proud of our partnership with Habitat for Humanity and our construction academy. Last year, we were fortunate to build our first Habitat for Humanity house, and this year we were able to continue that partnership in spite of the circumstances. We also had an Air Force a junior ROTC program that is a top unit in the area, and we are proud to host a dance academy, which we started 3 years ago. As of today, 95% of our projected students for the 2020-2021 students have returned to Leesburg High School either through our in-person option or through our Lake Live option. Our Lake Live option is a virtual model where students have the ability to take live classes from home from their teachers at school. We too run, our students that are on Lake Live are expected to follow our bell schedule, and they participate through the Google Apps for Education. Our vision at Leesburg High School drives everything that we do. Through our collective belief, skill, and will, each Leesburg High School student will graduate with the skills necessary for success in either a college or a university, a career, or the military. Our delivery platform for our virtual open house was through the Google Apps for Education, specifically using Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Slides, and Google Meet with Google Breakout Rooms, which is an extension through Google that worked out very well, and we'll discuss that later in the presentation. Moving to our virtual open house hub, this was our main hub that drove everything that we do and that we did during open house. And the virtual open house hub was a collaborative endeavor amongst the school's leadership team and our teachers. I'm going to click on it to provide some insight and to kind of work you through each aspect of our hub. So as you can see, our hub is very extensive. We have over 85 teachers at Leesburg High School. And the first step to creating the hub is that we use Google Sheets to create the hub, and you will have to provide access to your faculty to publish this information. That access will be provided through the share link, and again, you'll want to open it for anyone to view the link. I would suggest making sure to close editing access at least 3 days prior to your event to allow yourself and your administrative team the opportunity to create a uniform open house hub. At Leesburg High School, we had over 85 colleagues participate and collaborate on the open house hub. So from a leadership perspective, it was essential that we communicated what information we needed in the hub from our teachers and how we wanted the information to try to create a uniform hub. The information that we requested from our teachers were, of course, their name and their class, their department, a link to their Google Meet link, a link to their class syllabus, and a link to to their Google Classroom, along with the link to any other pertinent information that they had. For our teachers, we asked that they ensured that all links were open so that anyone with the link can view it. We are very fortunate in Lake County to have a closed network with Google. However, without opening it for anyone with the link to view, our parents would not be able to access these files. So that is a very important step in the process. It's also very important to talk to your teachers and walk them through how you want each step. And if a teacher does not feel comfortable adding their information to the hub, please identify a technology lead in each department to help support them. For example, something that we faced during our first launch of the virtual open house hub, we had a teacher go in and they placed their class link information, they adjusted the formatting, they took off the title. It was a mess. And because we had over 85 teachers working on it, it wasn't as simple as going back to the editing history. We were forced to go back, identify what happened, and we had to reformat the entire Google sheet. So again, making sure to work with your teachers and talking them through each step of the process and having those technology leads are essential to a successful launch to your hub. I wanted to take a moment to make sure that there were no questions before continuing on.
Okay, hold on, I'm checking.
Okay.
Just making sure that I have to read one first.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, looks like what just came in was just a comment from Norma Espinosa. She's from Puerto Rico, Department of Education, listening in. She's just glad to be here. Continue.
Fantastic. Yes, and we were glad to have you here as well. So with the Google, so now I want to transition to the Google Meet. So for us in our open house, it was important that we began everything because it was our Title I annual presentation. So I began with the principal's address from 5 to 5:30 through Google Meet link. Something that I would suggest is to have a teammate log in as you to the Google Meet link, because as people enter and as your families enter the Google Meet, you will have to accept them into the presentation, which can be very cumbersome as you're presenting and accepting people into the room as well. So for us, we had one of our assistant principals serve on the Meet link, and they ran our questions, and they also allowed people into the room so that the presenters did not have to worry about that information as well. Again, facts for all staff members to remember: all links to Google Docs, Google Forms, and Google Sheets must be switched to anyone on the internet can view this link under Share. And then for links, try to create a uniform language on the hub so teachers only have to click and access one thing. It was nice to just tell our teachers, just scroll through and insert your information instead of having to have them name and title every section. From our parents, so going back into our presentation, our parents provided us with very useful and poignant feedback. The first thing is they really appreciated that we provided this platform for them to still have open house. A lot of the schools in our area did not do an open house. So one, we were committed to making sure that we provide the same level of communication to our parents. And two, we actually had over 3 times the amount of parents participate in our virtual open house than they do in person. Something that our parents really liked is that they could participate and engage with their son or daughter students from their phone collectively at an open house instead of having to bring in everyone during a pandemic. So we will be launching a second open house come January as we switch semesters. Two, the second aspect, and I do want to click on this sheet, is that our parents suggested that we create a more streamlined hub. On our original hub, each teacher identified each class period. And so there was a link for we are on block schedule, so each teacher has 4 class periods. So there were 4 links per teachers on the one hub, which made our hub extremely cumbersome for parents and made it very difficult for parents who use their cell phones. Something that we switched to, and we will switch to for our second semester, is every teacher will have one line on the hub. From there, we will use in their Google Meet link, they will be able to use Google breakout rooms to have each parent come in and to have the ability to manage their classrooms within the individual link. So that was a suggestion from our parents and from our teachers that we saw from our first one. All right. Oops, let me go back here. So what, now what? We have a virtual open house. Why is this important, and what can we expect moving forward from this virtual open house? So although 2020 brought us challenges, and in spite of our current situation, it's essential that we remain committed to providing our parents, students, and community the same levels of support and communication throughout this pandemic. So we have really used this as an opportunity to provide access to our parents who may not have come, especially as a Title I school. We really struggled to have, we were lucky if we had 100 to 150 parents out of 1,500 students participate in our open house. As a result of switching it to a virtual open house, we had over 500 participants, which again, we're looking to even double that number in the spring when we do it for our second semester classes. This has also led to new ways of learning. So on the screen, I've provided a picture and a link. If you click on it, we challenged our Student Government Association to create a virtual club rush. So we wanted to provide opportunity and access for all of our students, whether they were in person or taking classes via our Lake Live option, to be able to see all of the clubs and extracurricular activities that we offered on campus, and to be able to reach out specifically to the sponsor, to students, and to sign up for those clubs. That was something that was very important to us from an equity standpoint. So we were very proud to launch our first virtual club rush on October 8th and 9th. And again, we had about 750 participants in our club rush, which was fantastic. So that is the end of my presentation. Again, I would like to thank everyone for providing me with this opportunity to share the work that we're doing at Leesburg High School. I would like to thank everyone for taking time out of their day to learn and grow together. And at Leesburg High School, we end everything with our vision statement: through our collective belief, skill, and will, each Leesburg High School student will graduate with the skills necessary for success in either a college or a university, a career, or the military. Thank you. And any questions?
This is awesome. This is Leilani back again, Michael. And you know, I'm excited because what you've put your attention on out as a leader is collaboration and everybody coming together. And I'm sure you started that right off the bat, right? And just having that there for a family, you know, to come to a, you know, like, let's all come together virtually, it feels like an emotional relief, you know, just to know, okay, good. So somebody's out there leading, you know, there goes Michael, he's gonna call us together, blah, blah, blah. Really a moment, right? I mean, what did you feel was happening yourself? I mean, probably, like I'm saying, a lot of relief.
Absolutely. Our parents really appreciated the opportunity to be able to meet with their teachers, especially coming off of a pandemic. We spent 6 months, or about 4 months away from each other, and our students spent about 4 months away from actively learning in front of a teacher. So our parents wanted to really see who they were sending their students back to, talk to them about some of the safety protocols in their classroom, and then it was almost instruction was third, but it was nice that we were able to get to instruction with our parents, because first they had to feel safe to allow their students to come back to school, and then for us to get to instruction.
Yeah, yeah. And this leadership of bringing order to how things are organized, Stephanie talked about that too, and that's kind of a huge thing. Where do you think things are going from here? I mean, are you going to try to go all the way to a commercial grade LMS eventually, and then bring in a lot of outside library resources, you know, stuff that's already been curated? What are your thoughts on what you're going to try to do in the future?
Absolutely. We have really provided our teachers and our students an opportunity to work on on a number of virtual platforms. We are very fortunate in Lake County, and at Leesburg High School prior to the pandemic, we were deemed as a digital discovery school. So our students were one-to-one with Google Chromebooks as well. So we kind of had a head start as we launched into learning. We use a lot of different platforms. Again, we base everything out of our Google Apps for Education. So every teacher on our campus has a live Google Classroom that they operate out of for their students in person or on Lake Live. And from there, we've used a lot of programs similar to the USA Test Prep, Algebra Nation, IXL, just to allow our students to supplement the work. But as you know, as Stephanie stated earlier, trust the people and not the platform. So we've really taken time with our teachers to say, we'll provide you with highly aligned curriculum and a platform for your students for curriculum, but we need to trust our teachers to really make sound instructional decisions for their students, because it doesn't matter what instruction we put in front of them, our teachers are still delivering it.
Okay, and then are you sort of tracking what's happening teacher to teacher? Like, are some more successful than others?
Yes, ma'am. So on a weekly basis, we track not only our teachers' we track their grades, but we also have our teachers track their instructional focus for the semester. So each department identified 3 of their instructional focuses, and they're expected to provide artifacts on a weekly basis for those to support their instructional focus. So that allows us to track our students' progression towards mastery on some of their assessments. So we're really big on ensuring that our assessments that we're big on ensuring that our formative assessments that we provide our students in class match the DOK levels of the assessments that they will take at the end of the year, because we are still moving forward to that state assessment until someone calls it off.
Very brave, Michael. And then, like, how has your job changed? Because, a lot of principals, you guys are the front lines. You're down there with the troops battling it out and directly in the war zone. Have you found yourself sort of becoming a dashboard ninja? Like, how did your job change?
Yes, ma'am. So I was very fortunate to use Google a lot, and even in the way that I operated prior to the pandemic, data drives everything that we do. So we have a dashboard for our graduation tracking. We have a dashboard for our grade tracking. We create dashboards and those opportunities so that we can track our students. So it was really just amplifying the structures that we had in place and really amplifying those. That's something that our teachers really appreciated, because it didn't seem, although we were getting a lot of new initiatives as we were transitioning to digital learning, we had a lot of these protocols in place since we were already a digital discovery school. So we were very fortunate. But yes, I have become a dashboard ninja, especially early as we were tracking our students as they returned to us from either Florida virtual school, Lake virtual school, or our Lake Live option.
Yeah. And then you're saying you're using a lot of other tools. So what are teachers having to say, okay, go log in over here to this courseware piece over there, and then come back over here? And what kind of navigation into other systems are your teachers doing?
Absolutely. We are, again, we're basing everything out of Google Classroom. So for example, in our English class, we are using the Engage New York Paths curriculum. We have embedded all of that curriculum within our Google Classroom, so that now our teachers they're limited on how many different apps they have to go to and how many different platforms they have to go to. So although they may have one additional, so for example, in math, our algebra and our geometry students will go to Algebra Nation or iExcel. They'll initially do their work in Google Classroom, and then the teacher will provide links there. But the nice thing is we were very intentional about only looking for programs that synced with Google Classroom, so that roster sync. We wanted to make it as easy of a transition for our teachers as possible.
Okay. And so are you sort of watching for holes and gaps along the way in terms of the actual resource materials?
Absolutely, and we're asking our teachers about that on a really on a weekly basis, and then we're asking our department leads on a monthly basis what gaps are they seeing, especially as we're trying to make sure to hit every standard as in a normal year. So in spite of our circumstances, our goal is still to cover every standard as we would in class. So we want to make sure that we provide platforms for our teachers to do that. And they are having a lot of success. And again, our teachers have done a fantastic job of planning ahead of time for this success.
This is awesome. Awesome. Well, we have like one more minute. So I want to ask you, where do you think this is all going? I mean, like, do you feel like you're in a mutation pattern and it's all coalescing towards some higher level eventually?
Yes, ma'am. I think from talking to a lot of our parents and a lot of our students, the Lake Live option, which is a hybrid of our students being able to take live courses from their teachers from home, I think that that's an opportunity that that I could see as providing our students moving forward. Our students have done pretty well with that option. And if you look at our quarterly and our mid-year assessments, our Lake Live students are outperforming our in-person students in a lot of areas, which surprised us. So we're looking to dive into that data to find out why a little bit more. And from talking to our parents, it's just, I heard the talk about personalized learning. Although this isn't personalized, this is a step towards that personalized learning for a lot of our parents. And they feel just by having the flexibility of being home, they're able to be more successful. And we've seen an uptick in our grades and in our student performance.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. If I was there, I would try to hug you, but we'd have to be distance. But
Yes, ma'am. Well, soon enough, we will. Soon enough, we will. Well, again,
yeah.
thank you all so much for this opportunity to learn and grow with everyone.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Michael. It was amazing. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all your teachers and your students.
Yes, ma'am.
In a school, there are many different people working to ensure student success. Students, teachers, and administrators all have unique needs and may use a variety of tools to creatively achieve their learning goals. But it can be overwhelming for students and teachers to juggle multiple tools, not to mention costly. More tools also means more class time students and teachers spend learning another tool, and less time actually learning. But what if many of your school's needs could be met by just one tool? Buncee is an all-in-one content creation and communication tool that meets the needs of everyone in your school. Buncee is fun and easy to use. Students from kindergarten to college have the power to choose how they want to represent their learning. When they're exercising their creativity, students are confident, involved, and engaged, and what they learn will stay with them long after they leave school. With our easy-to-use templates, teachers can easily create engaging lessons, presentations, and activities. Buncee also offers educators the creative flexibility to personalize instruction, helping teachers to reach all types of learners. Administrators can build their school's voice with Buncee, quickly create newsletters, reports, and more, then share with the push of a button. Buncee makes it easy to support your students by strengthening your whole school community. It takes a lot of people in a school to encourage student success, but it only takes one tool. Buncee, one tool, endless possibilities.